Which journey requires Tefilat Haderech? So the Shulchan Aruch brings down that a person only needs to say Tefilat Haderech if in fact traveling a parsah. Parsah is approximately 4 kilometers. So when traveling over this amount, a person needs to say Tefilat Haderech with Shem Malchut, meaning finish the bracha with Hashem's name. If a person is traveling under this amount, they need to recite Tefilat Haderech without mentioning Hashem's name at the end, meaning Baruch Atah Shomei Tefillah. However, there's a discussion in the Poskim whether or not a person needs to travel 4 kilometers outside of the city in order to be required to say Tefilat Haderech with Hashem's name, or whether or not a person needs to travel the time it takes to travel 4 kilometers outside of the city by foot, which is actually 72 minutes. The Halacha Ashkenazim follow the Mishnah Berurah, who holds that any time a person travels 4 kilometers outside of the city, they need to recite Tefilat Haderech with Hashem's name. However, the Sfari Poskim bring down that a person needs to travel 72 minutes outside of the city, which is a shiur, kidei hiluch parsah, the time it takes to walk a parsah, and only then do they recite Tefilat Haderech with Hashem's name. Even according to this opinion, if a person travels over 4 kilometers outside of the city by car, by foot, on the bus, on the train, they still need to recite Tefilat Haderech only without ending off with Hashem's name. And finally, this distance is measured from the exit of the city until the entrance of the city that you're traveling to. Now, some want to say that if there's cities on the side, then it stops this time, and therefore, if a person is traveling from one city to another, and there isn't 4 kilometers or 72 minutes without any other cities, then there's no requirement to say Tefilat Haderech. But the Halacha brings down the main halacha is that this is not the case with Tefilat Haderech, only with Birkat HaGomel. When we say 72 minutes, we include the return journey as well. And therefore, this time accumulates to the total 72 minutes. And as long as the person is returning the same day, 72 minutes in total for Sfarim, they can say Tefilat Haderech with Hashem's name. And as we mentioned before, 4 kilometers for Ashkenazim as well.